welcome to this class. So you'll just need a myofascial release ball or a tennis ball and a Pilates ball or a cushion. And we're going to start off on our backs. So lying down on your back with your knees bent and your feet hip distance apart. And then we're just going to take some pelvic tilts just to bring our pelvis into its center. So we're tilting the pelvis down towards the feet and then back up towards the head. So down towards the feet and back towards the head. And you can inhale as you tilt the pelvis down towards the feet and exhale as you tilt the pelvis up towards the head. So we're getting length as we tilt the pelvis down towards the feet and inhale. And we're getting a shortening of the pelvic floor muscles as we exhale and tuck the pelvis under. So just visualize that happening in your mind as you do those movements. So we're just building our awareness and our proprioception of the pelvic floor muscles in that area and the movement of the pelvis. Lovely. And then find the center point in between those two positions. And then we'll just imagine we've got a marble on the front of the pelvis, and we'll roll the marble from one hip bone to the other hip bone, keeping the knees fairly centered. And you can actually push into the foot that is the opposite foot to the pelvis rolling to the side, if that makes sense. So the pelvis that is tipping to one side at the bottom, you're going to push into that opposite foot to rock the pelvis from side to side like a seesaw. Nice. So we're just tilting the pelvis one way and then the other way. Just keep breathing. And then find that center point. Nice. And then grab your ball, and we're just going to place the ball just on the center of the glutes, just kind of, but more towards the sacrum end of the glutes. So just starting at the top of the glutes on the right side or the left side, it doesn't matter which side you start on. And then let's just take some movements from side to side. So we're just shimmying from side to side, and we're getting a nice massage into the glute max. Nice. And then just bring the ball down a little bit further. So it's like just above the sit bone, lower down in the glute, and then just rolling from side to side. Nice. And keep breathing, don't hold the breath, keep the jaw nice and soft. And if there's an area that feels particularly tender, then just stay in that area, just pause in that area, and then just send the breath to that area. So really inhale and send the breath down to lengthen the muscles, to soften the muscles. Nice. And now we'll just move the ball to the outer edge of the glute, so the glute medius, and we're just going to bring our leg out to the side and then draw it back into center. So we're really getting into that outer glute area as we draw the leg out to the side and then back into center. And again, just sending the breath there if there's any discomfort or tenderness. Nice. So we're just releasing the muscles, releasing any tension, gripping in the muscles so that they can activate more effectively when we come on to our practice. Lovely. And again, just staying in the area, just pausing in an area of tenderness or tension, holding it here. You can keep the leg out to the side and then just breathing. Nice big inhale and exhale. softening the jaw. And then bring the leg back to center, just remove the ball, place the pelvis down on the floor, just notice how both sides feel. And then take the ball to the opposite glute, starting at the top of the glute, in the center, at the top, and we're just kind of rolling that ball from side to side. Nice. And then moving it further down towards the sit bone, so a little bit lower. And again, shimmying from side to side. So we're just rolling the ball across the glute max. Just releasing any tension. And then pausing in an area where there might be some tenderness and just sending the breath there. Nice, and then moving the ball to the outside of the glute, like the glute med area, and then just take your leg out to the side and then draw it back into center. Lovely. And then again, leaving the leg out to the side, you can just stay in an area that feels tender. Breathe and send the breath to this area. Nice. And then bring the knee back to center, just release the ball. Notice how the pelvis feels, the glutes feel. Lovely. And then we're going to bring the feet underneath the knees. And we're going to do 3 breaths and an apnea, just with the hands around the ribs, just to warm up the breathing muscles and our apnea with some feedback there. And then we'll come on to some glute activation. So you're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. And exhale softly and slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. And exhale softly and slowly through the mouth. Inhaling into the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Pause and then really slowly open the rib cage as slow as you can for the whole hold. And then holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. And then bring the feet, make sure the feet are still underneath the knees, feet are flat on the floor, they're hip distance apart and parallel. Bring your hands down by your side with your palms facing down. So we're going to do our 3 breaths, and on our 3rd exhale, we're going to lift up into our bridge, and we're going to tuck the pelvis under slightly, and then imagine that you're picking up a note, like a money note, with your bum cheeks as you lift the pelvis up, squeezing the glutes. So we're focusing on the posterior chain as we lift into bridge. So when you're ready, you're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Inhale into the ribs all the way around. And exhale softly and slowly. Inhaling into the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Sorry, on your exhale, lift up, squeezing the glutes, lifting the pelvis up. Keep the back of the bra strap on the floor. You're holding your breath out at the top and then opening your ribs. Bit late on cueing you to bring you up there, so sorry about that. Nice, holding it here, keep squeezing that note in between the glutes. Breathing in at the top, and then you exhale to lower the pelvis and the ribs back down. Nice, this time we're going to do 2 breaths and an apnea, and we're going to lift up on the apnea this time. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs, breathing right into the back of the bra strap. And then exhale softly and slowly through the mouth, keeping the jaw nice and soft on the exhale. Inhale into the ribs. And exhaling slowly through the mouth. You're going to hold the breath out, pause, open the ribs, tuck the pelvis under, squeeze the glutes, lift that note up in between the bum cheeks. Pelvis and ribs lift up at the same time. Holding it at the top for as long as you can. Keep squeezing those glutes. Breathing in whenever you're ready. And then exhale to come back down. Nice, lovely. And then rolling over onto your side, guiding yourself up and coming into an all fours position. Lovely. So setting up in your Gaia position. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. We've got our fingers facing towards each other, elbows are bent. Hands are shoulder distance apart, toes are tucked under at the back, and the heels are drawing towards the back of the mat. Nice, we're just going to do a round of apnea just in our static Gaia, and then we're going to add in some progression to activate the glutes more. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale all the way around the ribs. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Inhale, breathing into my hand on your back. And then exhale softly and slowly. Inhale into my hand on your back. Exhaling slowly through the mouth. Pause, slowly open the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We're going to go into leg extension now with the option to do a leg lift for extra glute activation on the apnea. So we're going to inhale in position. Exhale, slide the right leg out along the floor. Inhale that leg back in. And then slowly exhale, sliding it back out behind you. Inhale it in. Exhale, slide it out. We're going to hold the breath out, pause, open the ribs, and then squeeze the glutes to lift the leg up. No higher than the hip. Really reach that heel away from you. Keep that foot dorsiflexed and keep the hips nice and level. So back of the pelvis stays like a tabletop. So we're not leaning over to one side. Really good for the core. Breathing in when you're ready, sliding that leg back in. Let's just come off the hands, sit back onto the heels, get a nice stretch in that plantar fascia in the soles of the feet. And we can release the wrists off. So just circling around one way and then the other way. Nice. We can bring the hands back down, face the fingers towards each other, And then just rock back to get a stretch in the back of the wrists. Nice. Turn the hands to face forwards. Just place the back of the hand on the floor. And again, we can just rock back. So you're getting a stretch in the front of the wrists. And then we're coming back into our Gaia position. We're going to go on the other side this time. So hands underneath shoulders, knees are underneath hips, toes are tucked under at the back. And we've got that natural curve in our lumbar spine. So we haven't got a completely flat back. Nice. Forehead and face are facing down towards the floor. And then when you're ready, we're going to inhale in position. Exhale, slide that left leg out. Inhale, slide it back in. Keep that pelvis nice and level. And exhale, sliding it out. Inhale, slide it in. Exhale, slowly through the mouth, sliding it out. You're going to hold your breath out, pause, open the ribs, and then lift that leg up, no higher than the hip. Reach that heel away from you, activating the glute. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. Sliding it back in. We'll come off the hands now. So bring your elbows down to where the hands are. Bring your hands and your forearms out in front of you so that they're on train tracks. They're parallel. And then take the gaze through the space in between the elbows. Keep that natural curve in the lumbar spine, and we're going to do the same here, but we're going to come straight into a leg lift. So we're going to inhale in position, exhale, slide it out, and then we're going to lift as well on the exhale. And we'll do alternate legs this time, and then we'll do a round on each side, so we have an apnea on each side. So when you're ready, we're going to inhale in position. Exhale slowly through the mouth, slide the right leg out and then lift it up no higher than the hip. Inhale, place it down, slide it back in. Exhale, slide the left leg out and then lift it up. Inhale, place down, slide it back in. Exhale, right leg slides out, lift it up. Hold the breath out, pause, open the ribs, dorsiflex that foot, draw the heel right back towards the back of the mat or the back of the room. Holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We're going to inhale in position. Exhale, slide the left leg out and then lift it up. Inhale, slide it in. Exhale, right leg slides out, lifting it up. Inhale, place it down, slide in. Exhale, slowly through the mouth, left leg slides out, lift it up. Hold the breath out, pause, and open the ribs. Keep that back of the pelvis nice and level, holding it here for as long as you can. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Place that foot back down, just take a child's pose, reach the arms forwards. Lovely. And then breathing in, coming back up onto the hands. We're then going to bring the hands back into Gaia. Fingers face towards each other, hands underneath shoulders, knees underneath the hips, toes are tucked under. Natural curves in the spine. And this time we're going to do a leg lift with a bent knee. So we're going to just lift the leg up, keeping that knee bent on an exhale, and then inhale, we're going to place it back down. And then for our apnea, we'll have the leg lifted like this, and then we'll extend it no higher than the hips, so the leg lengthens, and we'll do our apnea here. Okay, great. So we'll do one side at a time. So you're going to inhale in position. Exhale, lift that leg, keep foot dorsiflex, sole of the foot up towards the ceiling. Inhale back down. Exhale, lift it up. Inhale down, keep that leg at 90-degree angle. Exhale, slowly lift it up. Extend the leg, hold the breath out. Pause and open the ribs. Draw that heel towards the back of the room. Nice. Holding it here, keep that pelvis nice and level. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. Bringing that leg back in. And we'll go on the other side. So we're going to inhale in position. Exhale, lift that left leg up, keeping the knee bent. Inhale, slide it back in. Exhale, lifting it up. So sole of the foot faces the ceiling. Inhale, slide it back in. Exhale, lift it up. Lengthen and straighten. Hold the breath out. Pause. Open the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can. And breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice, lovely. Just sit back onto the heels. Let's just release the wrists. Going one way and then the other way. Nice. We're going to come up to standing. And check the tight, lovely. We're just going to work on a couple of lunge positions too, which will activate the glutes as well. So standing in your Athena position, nice and stacked. Feet are parallel, hip distance apart, knees are slightly soft, pelvis is centered, ribs are stacked on top, shoulders on top of that, head is on top of that. We'll bring the hands into our first position. So palms face forwards, thumbs and wrists rotate, elbows rotate, shoulders rotate. Extend the wrists and then draw the hands in, hovering above or in front of the hips. Our balance point is forwards. We're going to inhale in position. Exhale, we're going to step forward with the right foot. Feet face forwards, hips face forwards. Front knee is bent over the front ankle, back knee is soft. We inhale here. Exhale, you're going to tip your upper body forward so your ribs are lined up over your pelvis. You've got a nice line from that back heel. Inhale. Exhale, you're going to raise the left arm up into third position. You're going to hold your breath out, pause, and open the ribs here. Keep that front knee bent over the front ankle and press more into the heels of both of the feet. So both feet are on the floor, but you're pushing more into the heels to activate the glutes. Holding it here for as long as you can, and then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. We'll step back. And then we'll go again on the other side. So hands in first, balance point forwards, listening to that conversation behind you. We're going to inhale in position. Exhale, step forward with the left foot, feet face forwards, hips face forward, front knee is bent over the front ankle. Inhale. Exhale, tip that upper body forwards. So you're lining rib cage over pelvis. Inhale here. Exhale, you're raising opposite hand to leg forwards. We're holding the breath out, pausing and opening the ribs. Push into those heels. Lovely. Keep that back knee soft, don't lock it out. Holding it here. And then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. Stepping that back leg in. Great. We're now going to come down into, what's the time? Yeah, into our Persephone position. So you might want to grab a block or a book if you've got one to hand, just so that you can pop your knee onto it for a modified version. Or you can use your cushion. Nice. So we're going to stand at the back of our mat, take a really big step forward. So coming into like a high yoga lunge where the heel is off the floor, front knee is bent over the front ankle. We're going to put our block or our prop underneath the back knee if it were to drop down into a 90-90 position with the legs. Nice. So we've got our positioning of our prop, and now we're going to step back. So step back safely. Nice. So we're going to start in our first arm position. Bring your hands into first, balance point is forwards. We're going to inhale in position. Exhale, take a big step forwards. Tiptoes of the back foot. Front knee is over the front ankle, feet are facing forwards. We inhale here. On our exhale, we tip that upper body forward. So we've got a nice line from the back of the heel all the way through the body. We inhale here. On our exhale, we're going to raise the arms up into third, drop the back knee down onto the support, 90-90 knee position, hold the breath out, pause, and then open the ribs. Holding it here for as long as you can, push into that front heel, and then breathing in whenever you're ready. Nice. Step that front leg back, coming into like a squat position, and then we can lift back up. Then place your block on the other side, so that we're going to do this on the other side as well. Hands are in our first arm position. Balance point is forwards. When you're ready, we're going to inhale. Exhale, big step forwards with the left foot. Inhale, in position. Exhale, tip your upper body forwards, ribs over pelvis. Inhale here. Exhale, drop that back knee down, hands come up into third. Hold the breath out, pause, and then open the ribs. So ribs are stacked over the pelvis again. Front knee is bent over the front ankle so it doesn't shoot past. And pushing more into the heel of the front foot. Breathing in whenever you're ready. We're going to release the prop. We're going to step that front foot back. We're going to come into a puppy pose. Rest the forehead on the floor. And really opening those sit bones. And then just breathing into the back of the ribs. So 5 deep breaths into the back of the ribs. And then when you've done your 5 breaths, you can come back up to a seated position. And that is our practice complete.